Hello kids, my name is Mилош Mилуновиќ, and today we are going to do the revision of the constructions and the lessons that we have learned, and we're going to do the preparation for our first written assignment. The first lesson we are going to revise is the second conditional. As you have already heard, the second conditional refers to a hypothetical present or future situation. That is the situation which is very unlikely to happen. So I will read you a short comic story. The story is about Garfield and his owner. So Garfield's owner asks Garfield, "Do you know what would be fun?" And then Garfield thinks, "John, pay careful attention. If I did, would I be standing here?" So here, in this sentence, we can see the perfect example of the second conditional. If I did, would I be standing here? So Garfield doesn't know what would be fun. And then in the continuance of the comic, his owner tells to him, "Laziness comes naturally to you, doesn't it?" And he thinks, if it didn't, I wouldn't attempt it. So that's the second example of the conditional, and here it is presented in the negative context, so in the negative sentence. If it didn't, I wouldn't attempt it. So what can we see from these examples? We can see that the second conditionals are formed as follows. We need one if plus the verb in the past simple form. The verb can be positive or negative. Then we put a comma and we go on to the second part of the sentence, where we use would or could plus the infinitive of the verb. So here are some examples. If I won the lottery, which as you can see is unlikely to happen, comma, I would buy a private airplane, full stop. So here you can see the blue color presents the verbs we have mentioned before, like if, I, won. Won is the past simple form of the verb win, the lottery, comma, I would buy, that's would plus the infinitive verb, a private airplane. The second example is if your car broke down, where would you go for help? If we should translate these sentences into Serbian, they would sound like this. Kada bih dobio na lutriji, što se verovatno neće desiti, kupio bih privatni avion. I kada bi se tvoja kola pokvarila, gde bi se obratio za pomoć? Dakle, to su situacije koje su vrlo malo verovatne da će se nekad desiti. So let's go on. Here are some more rules about the second conditional. We use a past verb, but we think about a present or a future situation. For an example, imagine that some of your friends whose names are Tim and Sally like traveling, but they are poor. They cannot afford it. So you say, well, if Tim and Sally were rich, they would travel around the world. Da bih vam pojasnio ovo, također možemo koristiti i glagol u prošlom vremenu kada mislimo ili kada iznosimo svoj stav o sadašnjim ili budućim situacijama, kao na primjer kada bismo imali prijatelje Tima i Sally koji vole da putuju, ali su siromašni i onda bismo rekli kada bi Tim i Sally bili bogati ili bili bogatiji, oni bi dosta putovali oko sveta. So there is another one example from another sentence. Sally writes books, but not many people buy them. Then you would probably say, if Sally wrote a best-selling book, she would be famous. Ili ti recimo da ta prijateljica Sally piše knjige, ali da mnogi ljudi to ne čitaju i ne kupuju, verovatno biste upotrebili ovakvu konstrukciju. Kada bi Sally pisala bestsellere, bila bi popularna. Dakle, to trenutno nije situacija. Here's another rule that you should have in mind when doing this exercise. For example, if you have if plus I, he, she, or it, you may put the verb were, which is grammatically correct in second conditional sentences. For an example, if she were rich, she would stop working. Kada bi ona bila bogata, prestala bi da radi. This could be used in formal English, but in informal English people often use was. Dakle, ovo pravilo se koristi u nekom formalnom izražavanju u engleskom jeziku, a u neformalnom engleskom obično se koristi glagol was. Kao na primjer, if she was rich, she would stop working, što znači isto kao i if she were rich, she would stop working. Dakle, značenje su uopšte ne menja. We use if I were you to give advice. Dakle, također koristimo if I were you da bismo posavjetovali nekoga. For an example, if I were you, I wouldn't buy that pullover. Ili if I were you, I would study harder. Grubo prevedeno na srpski ovo bi značilo da sam na tvom mestu. If I were you, kada bih bio na tvom mestu. So if I were you, I would study harder. Da sam na tvom mestu, učio bih više. Okay, now here are some sentences to do for your practice. Try to do them by yourselves. I will read sentence to you. If she, then the line and the verb no after the line. The answer, she, the line, the verb win, the prize. If he, the line, and the verb have enough experience, the boss, the line, and the verb hire him. The third sentence, if you, the line, come to the party, comma, we, the line, have a lot of fun together, full stop. And the fourth sentence, if I, the line, to be a rich man, comma, I, the line, buy a home like a palace. So please look at these sentences and try to do them on your own, and then we will read the correct answers. Don't forget that the past simple of the verbs is also commonly called second column, druga kolona. Do not mix it with the third column, treća kolona. And don't forget to put would and the infinitive. Many of the students can easily put will, which is used in the first conditional. So now let's see the answers. first sentence, if she knew the answer, she would win the prize. Or roughly translated, kada bi znala odgovor, osvojila bi nagradu. So you see knew is in past simple, and then in the second part of the sentence you have would win the prize. The second is if he had enough experience, the boss would hire him. So that means kada bi on imao dovoljno iskustva, šef bi ga zaposlio. So you see the verb have is in past simple and it is now had. And in the second part of the sentence you have would plus infinitive construction, would hire him. The third sentence, if you came to the party we would have a lot of fun together. Came is in past simple, would have the construction, would plus infinitive. And the fourth sentence, if I was a rich man, you may also put if I were a rich man, but let's talk in an informal way. So if I was a rich man, I would buy a home like a palace. Was and would buy are the correct answers for this sentence. So let's go on to revise the so that construction. So and that construction, it encloses an adjective or an adverb. So as you can already see, it is constructed with so plus an adjective or adverb plus that. Here are some examples. Well, the coffee is so hot that I can't drink it. So caution, ladies and gentlemen, this coffee from the picture may be very hot. And this would mean kafa je toliko vruća da je ne mogu popiti. Well, obviously this book was so boring that I couldn't finish it. And you can see this cat snoring, which means that it fell asleep after just a few pages. And this would mean ova knjiga je tako dosadna i toliko dosadna da jednostavno nisam mogao da je završim do kraja. And the weather was so beautiful that we decided to go to the beach. That's something that we already want, that we all want from the weather, to be sunny and beautiful. And this means vreme je bilo toliko lepo da smo odlučili da odemo na plažu. So this shouldn't really be a hard exercise. This is so simple, and please try to do these sentences by yourselves. I will read the sentences to you. The first sentence is she is too young, she can't smoke. So you have to connect these two sentences with the so plus that construction and make one sentence out of these two. So the first sentence is she's too young, she can't smoke. The second one is it is late, we can't go to the cinema. Then we have the third one, the child had many toys. The child couldn't decide with which to play. The fourth one is this machine works loudly, I have a headache. And the fifth one is there was little food, many people were left hungry. So please take a few minutes and try to do these by yourselves, and then we will go and read the correct answers. So this exercise shouldn't really be too tough, because the rule is simple. You use so plus an adjective or an adverb, you should be able to find an adjective or an adverb in these sentences. Then you use that and connect the second part of the sentence to the first part of the sentence. So I'll give you 1 or 2 more minutes. Have you finished already? Yes? So let's see, here are the answers. The first sentence is, she's so young that she can't smoke, which means suviše je mlada, tako da ne može da puši. The second sentence is, it is so late that we can't go to the cinema, which means suviše je kasno, tako da ne možemo da idemo u bioskop. The third sentence, the answer to the third sentence is, the child had so many toys that she couldn't decide with which to play. Dakle, djevojčica je imala toliko igračaka da jednostavno nije mogla da se odluči sa kojom će da se igra. The fourth sentence is, this machine works so loudly that I have a headache. Dakle, ova mašina je toliko bučna ili ti toliko bučno radi da od nje imam glavobolju. And the fifth sentence is, there was so little food that many people were left hungry. Bilo je toliko malo hrane da je dosta ljudi ostalo gladno. So as you can see, so, she's so young that she can smoke, so plus an adjective young plus that she can smoke, so late that we can go to the cinema, so many toys, so loudly, an adverb, so plus an adverb, that I have a headache, and so little food that many people were left hungry. So this really shouldn't be hard to do. Well, the next exercise that we are going to revise is the reflexive pronouns exercise. Well, let's see what reflexive pronouns are used to for. Well, they are used to indicate that both the subject and the object of a sentence receive the action of the verb. Well, to make things easier for you, you must understand the following table that is shown below. You will already know the personal pronouns, which are I, you, he, she, it. Those are singular pronouns. And we, you, and they are plural pronouns. The reflexive pronouns for these personal pronouns are I, myself, you, yourself, he, himself, she, herself, it, itself, we, ourselves, you, yourselves, and they, themselves. Well, some examples are, I hurt myself when I fell off the skateboard. Well, she usually talks to herself in the mirror. The students can monitor themselves and David read quietly to himself. So it's obvious that you should learn these reflexive pronouns by heart. Now do these examples by yourselves. Well, I fixed my bike by, line. Second one, Kelly finished her exercise by, line. Third one, you can buy, line, an ice cream. Fourth, they watched the movie by, line. And fifth one, they usually talk to, line. Now take a minute or two to do these sentences. This really isn't hard at all. These are the exercises that are used to high up the grades, really. So let's see the answers. I fixed my bike by myself. So I, myself. The second one, Kelly finished her exercise by herself. So she, Kelly is she, and herself is a reflexive pronoun for she. The third one is you can buy yourself an ice cream. Yourself is the reflexive pronoun for you. They watch the movie by themselves. They, themselves. And the fifth one is the same, really. They usually talk to themselves. So again, they, themselves. So another exercise that we're going to revise is the word order in English language. The word order or basic word order in the English language has the rule the subject goes on the first place, then comes the verb, then comes the object, and after that on the last place come the adverbial phrases. So let's see it in an example. Susan went to school on Monday. Susan is the subject, went is the verb, to school the object, on Monday adverbial phrase. I eat bananas twice a week. I subject, eat verb, bananas object, twice a week adverbial phrase. And my father gave me a present for my birthday. My father is the subject, gave the verb, me a present object for my birthday adverbial phrase. So stick to this simple rule and you will have no problems in doing this exercise. Now do these by yourselves. The first one, send will letters Peter tomorrow to the morning we. The second one is enjoy last didn't John's I party week. The third one is clock wonderful bought a old Italian eye. Fourth sentence, I would somewhere I think live to like else. And the fifth one, a bus sat girl blonde with hair on the pretty. Okay, take a few minutes to do this exercise. Don't forget the rules. Is the subject plus the verb plus the object plus the adverbial phrase. Again, this is really not complicated. It's quite simple. Okay, I can see that you have finished this exercise. So here are the answers. Number one, we will send the letters to Peter tomorrow morning. The second one, I didn't enjoy John's party last week. Number three, I bought a wonderful old Italian clock. Number four, I think I would like to live somewhere else. And number five, a pretty girl with blonde hair sat on the bus. So I think really this wasn't hard at all. These are exercises that you have already done during our English course from the beginning up till now. And now the last thing to tell you is really to revise the entire vocabulary that you have learned up to this lesson. Well, that would really be it for today. My students, I wish you good luck and see you on the first written assignment. Goodbye.